It may look like I'm going backwards, but I'm not. It's actually going along pretty good. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get the tile that I ordered. And once I get the tile, then I'll be able to look at how that's going to match up with the panels that I've stained, and then decide what to do with the cabinets. Because right now I was going to stain the cabinets, but each piece of the cabinets is coming out a little different color. So they obviously use different wood, and then they just paint it over it. So I get that. I may end up doing the same thing, but I got to decide what color paint to put in. So what's the deal? I'm gonna get the tile, be able to put the floor in. Once I get the floor in, I'll put the cabinets back in. As I put the cabinets back in, I'll square up the trailer really good. It's roughly square right now. Once I have the trailer squared up, then the trailer squared up, then I will put the panels on. Once I do the panels, then I'll do the electrical. Once I get the electrical, then it's the insulation, and then the siding. So the skins. So actually doing pretty good. So what do I got? Well, I have completed almost all the framing, and I have probably replaced about 90% of the pieces of framing. Obviously the front wings needed both to be replaced, and so those were replaced. This part right here, I've actually that's almost all original wood. The skirt board over the wheel well is new. This board for the frame, door frame, is original, but I just cut out some new pieces, and I am going to replace that. It is the door, so I figure I want to have good wood there going forward. I worked on the rear wing, and a lot of that is brand new. And on the street side wing over there, I ended up changing out quite a bit. I thought I was actually going to be able to salvage a lot of that, but I really only ended up keeping these boards down here. And then this board here, and actually what I did is I cut that board and put in a new piece there at the end, rather than change out that whole board again. The rest of the board is actually pretty good. Yeah, it looks discolored, looks pretty gross right there. I'll probably sand that down, but it's actually good wood. So I also, a big deal is on each skirt board, I've been able to put in the carriage bolts that hold the skirt boards to the chassis board. Okay, so this is the chassis board, this is the skirt board, and in between is the panel that's going to be sandwiched in between there. What I did just for now is I just put in a piece of backing board. It's a little thicker than my panel, but it will at least allow me, or it did allow me, to be able to line these up, drill a hole, and mount the carriage bolts. So once I'm ready, I'll obviously pull this out, take carriage bolts out, and I'll put in the paneling, which sits all the way down to the bottom of the skirt board. The framing all sits on the skirt board. So this is load bearing. So I put in 2 carriage bolts for each of the skirt boards, but up front I actually put in a 3rd one, because this is the door right here. And so I did put a carriage bolt here, put one in over here, and then one up front. And this skirt board does sit a bit on the frame, about 1/4 of an inch. I really had to spend some time to get that figured out. But see, here's why I'm going to change out the board right here on the door frame. This piece definitely. And I just ripped that piece on the table saw, and might as well replace that one. And what I ended up doing is okay, have fun, is making a wider skirt board here, and excuse me, wider frame board that will run all the way up. So that's going to give me a little bit more support for the door, so I feel pretty good. So what I'll do probably tomorrow morning is finalize the flooring, I want to make sure it's flat. I may put in a few more carriage bolts to make sure that it's going to be held down nice. Because as I put the tile in, I've got to have a nice flat surface. I may pull out some wood putty, fill in some holes here and there. But overall, feeling pretty good about the flooring. So now I've got the paneling, and I just sanded and wiped them down. It looks like I gotta wipe them down again. And I will put another coat of polyurethane on them. And I'll use a brush this time rather than a rag. I used a rag and that just left too many streaks. So I've got all my paneling ready to go. Ceiling board, ceiling, so some of those front and back. My two wings are over there, and my rear pieces, that's a rear piece there, and I'm missing one piece here. But I got my paneling, I'll have that all ready to go. Just want to make sure that all the dust is off before I put on that next coat of polyurethane, and I'll be able to finish that up. So actually looking reasonably good, promising. I've got things measured up fairly well. I know my windows will fit. It's still a little bit of a mystery in terms of when I put the skins on, if I need to make any more adjustments, but I'm ready for that, and ready for having to make the adjustments. So it's all good. I may be an eighth of a quarter of an inch off, we'll see. But overall, making good progress.